Hi, I'm Mike, Director of Customer Partnerships here at Partstown for the HVAC division. Today, I'm going to show you how to change out your blower motor on your Trane RTU. All right, let's get this panel off. They have two bolts here at the motor mounts on, okay? But in order to get this belt off, you have to loosen these two so that you can slide this motor and give yourself some play. So that's what I'm going to do here. Doesn't need to be all the way loose. And obviously, if you had a wrench, ratchet wrench, it's going to go a lot smoother and easier. All right, now that we've loosened our mount, we're going to want to give ourselves a little bit of play and roll our belt off.
All right, now we got our belt off. I'm going to take this motor off. Now for time's sake, there's 4 bolts holding this to the mount. The bolt in the very back here is in a tough spot, so I already got that one out of there. But there are 4 bolts. I've pre-loosened them. This particular motor is being held in by 1/2-inch bolts. And you have to hold some of the pressure from that motor on the last bolt because it'll want to slide on you. Now, this is a dead motor, so I'm not going to go through the process of taking the pulley off. When I replace a motor, I'm going to replace a pulley with it. Back in here, there are some zip ties, easily dealt with side cutters. Be careful not to cut the wire. You just want to cut the zip tie. Tools are your friend. Use them however you can. In this situation, these are side cutters. So if you look at this tool, it's angled, right? Normally you're supposed to be cutting it this way. Because of the angle of which that was in, I flipped it over and I used that angle to my advantage and I cut it. And now the blower motor is free to move. Another zip tie. Now these ones plug in. So try to keep these if you can. And as a matter of fact, in here, you can pull your limit off. You have your Mold-X plug right here. You fish everything through. Very important to not put a rescue motor back in. With a rescue motor, you're going to have to figure out how to wire this motor in, and we don't know if that motor is the correct style for this particular unit. It's always a lot easier to be able to pull it out and have the factory supplied plug. Goes right back in. All right, going to put the motor back in. I want to make sure our wires are out of our way. We want to mount this. There are some holes here. You want to line those holes up with the notches that are on the mount for the motor. It's easier to get one started. Taking my glove off because I need to be able to feel where that hole is to get it started. Once you have one bolt started, makes the rest of them so much easier when you're doing this. At this moment, I'm tightening with my finger the far back bolt. Now I got it in, finger tight. Now I'm going to go back to my wrench. I'm going to tighten them down. Safety first, but sometimes you just need to feel the bolt. These don't need to be He-Man'd on, just snug. Put your limit switch back on. You put the Mold-X together, there is a certain way. There's a flat side and a round side. You just want to make sure they line up before you put it together. that's it, done. I would go through with some wire ties to clean up my wires, but that's the gist of replacing a blow motor.